Are you enjoying the game today, too?
That is a very specific way to start. But yes, I am ready to dive in.
Excellent. Because today we're tackling the very foundations of Western civilization. I'm talking structural engineering. I'm talking ancient aesthetics. I'm talking columns. I've got my blueprints for the Parthenon ready to go. Let's do this.
Okay, whoa, hold on. Put the imaginary hard hat away. We are not talking about architecture.
We're not, but columns.
And we're not talking about Excel spreadsheets either, so don't even think about it.
Oh, man. I had a great pivot table joke already.
We're talking about the video game, Columns, the Sega classic, the falling block puzzler that was less about bricks and more about, well, bling.
Oh, the jewels. The sparkly, shiny, oh my gosh, I can't look away jewels. Why didn't you just say so? Koramusu, the game that basically put me in a trance as a kid.
That's the one. I mean,
Yeah.
If Tetris was the industrial concrete block king of puzzle games,
Then Columns was its glamorous, high society rival, dripping with diamonds.
it really was the other giant, wasn't it?
Absolutely. If Tetris felt like construction work, Columns felt like a jewel heist.
That's actually a surprisingly good way to put it.
You know, I can still picture it. Sitting on the floor, way too close to the TV, just mesmerized by the glow of the gems. It felt so sophisticated.
It was meant to. But our mission today is to dig behind that sparkle. We've got to talk about its surprisingly corporate origin.
Oh, wait, corporate.
Oh, yeah. And we need to get into why it's actually way harder than Tetris and how it basically invented the combo that defines puzzle games even today.
I am so ready. But first, the vibe. The whole game feels ancient. I always assumed it was based on some, real Phoenician legend.
And that is exactly what Sega's marketing department wanted you to think. The tagline was literally the game of the ancient Phoenician legend.
It wasn't. My whole childhood is a lie.
Nope, it was made by a guy named Jay Gateson.
Jay, from ancient Phoenicia.
Jay from Hewlett-Packard.
HP, the printer company. Get out of here.
The very same. Back in 1989, he was working on the Unix system, HPUX, and he just wanted to learn how to program for it.
So you're telling me one of the most beautiful artistic puzzle games of the 90s started as a programming exercise for engineers on a boring work computer.
That's exactly right. And get this, the original name for it was Drops.
Drops, like a cough drop. Hey, Mom, can I go play Drops? Ugh, no, terrible.
It lacked a certain magic. But the game was so addictive, it spread all over the HP offices. Sega eventually saw it, bought the rights, and slapped that whole ancient world theme on it.
What a makeover. From a Unix tool to the Sega MegaDrive. That's amazing.
The Sega dream, you could say. And while it was in arcades, the version we all remember is the home console one, the MegaDrive, or Genesis in North America. That was June 1990 in Japan.
That version was everything to me. But let's go back to that sophisticated feel. Tetris gave me anxiety. Columns felt relaxing.
That's the aesthetic, sparkling jewels instead of drab blocks. It was designed to appeal to a wider audience, maybe people who weren't into the cold, abstract feel of other puzzle games.
And the music. Oh my God, the music. It wasn't the frantic, panic-inducing stuff. It was, like, classy.
It's an iconic soundtrack. The track names are actually from Greek mythology, the Fates. You have Clotho, Atropos, and Lachesis.
See? Mythology. I knew it. I was learning while I was avoiding my homework.
You were learning Greek mythological names attached to a game made by an American engineer for a Japanese company. It's a whole thing.
But didn't they try to tack a story onto it? I feel like I remember the manual having some wild backstory.
Oh, they tried. They really did. The MegaDrive manual introduces a hero, a treasure hunter named Cube.
His name is Cube, in a game called Columns.
Yeah.
That's just confusing.
And Cube's mission is to calm down the legendary Columns jewels that were stolen from a museum.
So I wasn't just matching pretty rocks. I was a hero named after a shape, solving a jewel crisis. I like it.
Exactly. And the art backed it up. You had griffins, ancient-looking text. It just stood out from all the sci-fi shooters in the arcade.
Okay, let's talk gameplay. Because if you try to play this like Tetris, you're going to have a really, really bad time.
A terrible time. This is the key. In Tetris, you rotate. In Columns, the piece is always a vertical stack of 3. You can't turn it sideways at all.
Right, you just cycle the order of the 3 jewels. It's shuffling, not rotating.
And you're matching 3 or more. But here's the part that changed everything.
The diagonal.
The diagonal.
Well, the diagonal match, it blew my mind. Tetris is all flat lines. Columns made you look in every direction. Vertically, horizontally, and diagonally.
It added this whole other dimension to it. But that also led to something even bigger, the chain reaction. Rensa, as they say in Japan.
The chain. That clink, clink, whoosh sound is one of the most satisfying sounds in all of video games.
It's just simple gravity. In Tetris, a line disappears and everything above it just drops down as one big chunk.
But in Columns, the jewels above fall down one by one into the gaps. And if they land and make a new match,
They vanish too, and then more fall,
yeah,
and they might match.
it's a cascade. A beautiful, glittering cascade of points.
This was the pioneer. This is the granddaddy of the combo. In fact, Sega actually gave the Columns source code to the developer compile
For what?
to help them make the arcade version of Puyo Puyo.
No way. So Columns is the father of Puyo Puyo.
You could definitely make that argument, yes.
That's a huge deal. So without Columns, we might not have the insane combos in, like Candy Crush today.
It's very possible we wouldn't. It introduced that idea that one move could set off a whole chain of events.
Speaking of one move, we have to talk about the ultimate panic button. The magic jewel.
The flashing stone of hope.
The get-out-of-jail-free card.
It really is. It comes down on whatever color it lands on, poof. Every single jewel of that color on the whole board is gone.
It's the best feeling. The screen is almost full, you're sweating, the music's getting faster, and then, bam, all the red ones disappear, and you can breathe again.
But there's a secret strategy with it, a risk-reward thing. What happens if you drop it so it doesn't land on any other jewel?
You get a 10,000-point bonus.
Right. But you completely waste its clearing ability.
I always went for the points. Always. Greed over strategy. Every time. And then I'd lose on the very next piece.
The hubris of youth.
So, let's talk versions. MegaDrive was king, but I also had a Game Gear, and Columns was the Game Gear game.
It was a pack-in launch title, but the Game Gear screen was, tiny.
Tiny and blurry. A terrible combination for telling gems apart.
Exactly, so they had to adapt. In the overseas version, they let you change the graphics.
Yes, you could change them to fruit, or dice, or playing card suits.
Right, clubs, hearts, diamonds. It was basically an accessibility feature that was born because the hardware just couldn't handle it.
I always played with the fruit. It felt like winning a jackpot on a slot machine. It's so good. I hear there's a new version where you don't have to squint, though.
There is. On the MegaDrive Mini 2, it's all crisp HDMI now,
Yeah.
and that version has Columns 3, which lets you play with up to 5 people.
5. That's not a puzzle game. That's a party.
Yeah.
Or a brawl.
On an old TV, 5-player mode was a joke. The jewels were just these tiny, indistinguishable dots. But with modern upscaling, you can actually see what's happening.
Technology finally caught up to the madness.
So you played it all the time as a kid. What was the hardest part for you? Was it the speed when it ramped up?
You know what? Honestly, the hardest part was just staying awake.
Staying awake.
I'm serious. The game gets fast, yeah, but that music, that ancient hypnotic Atropost theme,
Yeah.
it just lulls you. You're deep into endless mode, it's late, the jewels are twinkling, and your head just starts to nod.
It is hilarious that you say that.
Why?
Because if you go back and look at old reviews and player feedback, fighting drowsiness is often listed as an actual con of the game.
You're kidding me.
I'm not. The combination of the repetitive gameplay and the super relaxing music basically acts like a digital lullaby.
So the biggest threat wasn't the jewels hitting the ceiling, it was me face planting on the controller. That makes so much sense.
The hypnotic quality is a double-edged sword. It draws you in, but it might also knock you out.
Wow. Okay, let's try and evaluate this thing properly then. Pros.
Well, the visuals, for sure.
Oh yeah. My sister, who hated video games, would watch me play this because the gems were pretty.
It had that wider appeal, and it was accessible. The slogan on the arcade cabinet was, and I quote, "If you can do this, you're a genius."
Wait, for real. If you can match 3 shiny rocks, you're a genius.
Yeah.
They really set the bar low back then.
It was very encouraging. But let's flip to the cons, because for a game that calls you a genius, it is brutally difficult.
It is so hard. In Tetris, you can always spin a piece to tuck it into a gap if you mess up.
Right?
There's no tucking in columns.
Yeah.
Once that pile gets high and messy, you are just done for.
There's no recovery, and the next block display could be really misleading sometimes.
Ugh, I hated that. I'd see what was coming, make my plan, and then I'd cycle my current piece, and the next piece would suddenly look different.
Yeah, the timing on that could mess you up. Plus, the original game was just endless mode, no story, no verses, just you against infinity.
You, the jewels, and the sleepy music. Forever.
Until you inevitably lost. But the sequels did add more, like Columns 2, The Voyage Through Time.
Columns 2, with the skull. That horrible, horrible skull.
The dreaded skull item. In the flash columns mode, you'd have to clear a specific flashing jewel to win the round. But if you accidentally matched and cleared the skull,
The whole floor moves up. The screen just lurches upwards. It's pure panic.
it was a brutal punishment mechanic. And then you had Columns 3, Revenge of Columns with the 5-player mode, and even Sakura Wars Columns.
But hold on. Sakura Wars, the dating sim / strategy RPG.
Panagumi Taisen Columns, yeah. A spin-off that mixed the jewel-matching gameplay with the Sakura Wars characters and story.
I must confess my love for you. But first, let me clear these sapphires. That's incredible.
There's also some interesting trivia. Remember HP selling the rights to Sega?
Yeah, the printer guys.
Well, when they did, they donated all the proceeds from the sale to the United Way charity.
That's actually really cool. So Columns exists because of a charitable donation, in a way.
In a way. And one last bit of modern trivia. The Sega Ages version on the Switch has a new mode called Infinite Columns.
But isn't the whole game already infinite?
It is, but this was named after a Japanese side dish called Infinite Cabbage.
I'm sorry, what?
Infinite Cabbage. It's just shredded cabbage with sesame oil, but it's considered so simple and addictive that you can eat it forever. So they named the mode after that.
This video game is as addictive as salted cabbage. That is the greatest piece of trivia I have ever heard.
It has a certain charm.
Okay, let's sum this up. Columns. It's the sophisticated, hypnotic, beautiful, and deceptively difficult cousin in the puzzle game family.
It definitely lives in the shadow of Tetris.
Yeah.
But it's impossible to deny its legacy. It introduced the chain mechanic, the diagonal match, and it brought a different kind of beauty to the whole genre.
And it taught me that even when you lose, you can still leave behind a very pretty pile of garbage. It always felt classy, even in failure.
A sophisticated classic. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Lay it on me.
If HP had never sold the rights to Sega, if drops just stayed a little engineering tool on a Unix machine, would the chain mechanic ever have been invented for the mainstream? Would we have Puyo Puyo? Or Candy Crush? Or would the entire puzzle genre just be about neatly stacking blocks forever?
Whoa. The world without combos. That's a bleak thought. I don't like it. I think I need to go play some Columns right now.
I think that's the best way to honor it.
Will the game be fun tomorrow, too? Have a nice game.